Hello, boys, hello, gals, and hello, non-binary pals, and welcome back to the #1 judgiest place on the entire worldwide frickin' internet.
Dolly.
My name is Josh, and I like to party.
My name is Rick, and this tastes like sunscreen, and I don't like it.
And my name's Christian, and I told her so.
And we are the
Judgies.
Judgies, back and better than ever, and we had a slight
Snafu.
technical. But before we get into all of that,
Snafu.
let's get into the docket.
Let's get that docket pulled
Let's
right.
get that docket.
Wait, what about
The weather?
yeah.
We'll skip it.
We're skipping the weather?
Yep.
We might have had a lost episode almost.
Our first Judgies Lost episode. Docket.
Docket. This week we have a husband wondering why they even got married.
I bet you I can guess.
Roommates unappreciative of their daily smoothie. A boyfriend gets caught being a scientist.
I cannot wait for that story.
Self-affirmation goes wrong. A guy realizes he likes his date's friend better. And the listener tells us about their rough hookup story.
Who? I mean, dates friend. I'm more of a prunes guy. Anybody got a peach fellow? There's a pun on the word dates. We had a little bit of Judgy's first lost episode.
I mean, we only lost 15 hours.
Good ones. We had a lot of really good jokes.
This was
Did we?
Yeah,
what?
You know, it was fun. We were having fun.
it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I sunned my butthole. Josh made Crystal Pepsi.
That was before we even recorded.
Fuck.
Well, before wasn't gonna make the final cut.
Erica.
What did I do?
I don't remember now.
I'm like an apprentice at a bris because I'm not gonna make the final cut.
You're just chopping hog.
Boo.
Really?
That was bad.
Explain it. Explain why it's bad.
Explain why it's bad. It's too wordy.
Too wordy. I'm like an apprentice at a bris because I'm not making a final cut.
Yeah. I just didn't like it.
Call me Da Vinci Resolve because I'm not making a final cut.
Well, that's too niche.
Okay. Is the name of the software Final Cut? Adobe. Okay. Okay. Call me Movie Maker because.
You suck.
Okay, kind of.
All right.
Okay.
Add text here.
So, Josh, how about that weather?
How about the weather?
It was nice out today.
Yeah. I sunned my asshole.
Were you asking about the weather because you wanted me to talk about my screen door?
No, I asked you about the weather so I could cut you off so that way we could talk about the docket.
Oh, that was fucking rude. Anyway, the other day it was real windy and my door slammed shut so hard that it got stuck on the other side and I couldn't get in and out of the house through the front door.
That's a good name for a memoir. Shut so hard it got stuck on the other side.
Too wordy.
Agreed. So I had to call Josh to come unstick my door.
Yeah. Yeah. Christian's wife called me over and said, come in the back door. The front door's closed. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came really fast.
Well, in a respectable amount of time.
It was really quick.
An adequate amount of time.
I was impressed really with how fast it was.
Genuinely?
Yes.
Because I felt like an asshole because I was trying to finish up a medium clue scroll. And so I did like 4 steps on a medium clue scroll and I couldn't even finish it. It was a step that I didn't want to do.
I don't know what that means.
In RuneScape.
Oh.
And then I got to the step where I didn't even finish the medium clue scroll.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, now I'm late and I didn't even get the fucking reward.
Oh. No.
You left my wife outside.
She was inside.
Yeah, the
You got
back door.
stuck
The back door
inside?
was fine.
You did go through the back door.
No, I didn't go through the back door. I fixed it.
He fixed my front door.
He knocked on the back door.
And there's a lot of discharge. We missed the whole discharge
Oh,
Folks, there was gold in the discharge conversation.
There really wasn't.
Well, it was
there
like
was.
yellowish brown.
I hate you.
All right.
I can't believe we missed the whole discharge.
We don't just miss the discharge. We also read stories.
We missed the popple part of the podcast. The papple.
Yeah, we talked about
Dr. Papple Popper.
We talked about the American Pope. We
Chicago
don't like
Pope,
it.
Yeah.
The Ope. I made that joke. Everybody loved it.
Excuse you.
That's the joke you made that people are roaring for.
Oh. Yeah, Ope. Got it.
But yeah, we read stories on this podcast, and this first story
I
of the
feel
night.
like we need to rehash it a little
We
bit.
need to bring back the Pope.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if it was a funny Erica moment, the people deserve to know.
Okay,
I'm
let's
doom and gloom
recreate.
about the Pope.
You're
Christian,
doom and gloom about the
you-
Pope. I'm also.
I believe I
Not excited.
described you as effervescent.
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
And then
you
said you said a really good word the other day, and I forgot to call it out and
Yeah.
congratulate you. And it was when we were talking about the Pope.
You mean the ope?
the what?
I hate that.
You loved it,
It-
actually.
I don't think I did. Fuck, and we can't even roll the tape. I'm pretty sure I hated it.
I. Oh,
And then I said I can't speak on the Pope because I never went to Catholic school.
yeah.
And then I said that I don't think that it's appropriate for there to be an American Pope. And Josh said, "A North American,
North American Pope, the way our Westerner brains frame things. There's already been a South American Pope. His name's Francis.
The last one. The last one was an American Pope.
Okay. Anyway, I just think that it's
It's
Oh.
bad.
it's got my conspiracy brain going because we have a bad world leader, and then to have another American in
We do?
our nation's leader.
Really?
Our president sucks,
People don't like him?
Word
Well,
on the
I
street.
know.
I'm hearing it.
and to have another American be an influential leader in another country.
Does it help that he's a White Sox fan?
A little bit.
I think that helps a bit, right?
This Pope's really into tariffs. If
He's from
not to alarm
South
you.
Chicago. He's from the South Side, so like
He is.
I know. I'm
okay.
telling you, he's the South Sider. So like
Does
maybe
he?
he will have a little bit more empathy for the people's struggles.
I mean, he also did a lot of work in like
I know
South
nothing
America.
about him other than that he's from South Side Chicago and he likes the White Sox.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
He's also American.
I don't.
I hate you.
I don't trust it.
I
guess
don't
is-
trust it. Yes, agreed.
I just don't. I can't speak on it.
I just feel
I
like
can't
now is
speak
not
on
the
it.
right time to have an American Pope.
What is? There's never a right time
Give
for
me,
American
give me
anything.
Pope pizza. What was the other? Give me pizzaroni.
Pizza Baller.
Pizza baller.
Let's
I
do
don't get
Pizza
that one. I
Baller.
don't get that one.
His name was Pizza Balla. He was Italian.
It was one of the guys that
Oh,
are like
One of the other cardinals.
Gotcha.
Or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Alright.
become Pope if you're not a cardinal? Who gives a shit?
None of this matters.
R//
I can't speak on
relationships.
We don't just talk about the Pope in this podcast. We also sometimes cut out our discharge conversation of the podcast. And what that entails, we also podcast on this podcast. And what that entails is us going online, find silly little stories, and sometimes the bleak Christian does that.
Am I bleak?
No, but it's a cool word that's short.
Okay.
The zealous.
Zealot, more like it. R// relationships. Husband said, "Why did I even marry you out of nowhere?"
Such a shitty thing to say.
Well, I bet you he has a good reason.
He has a really good reason.
I bet you. Okay, over under an American sitcom from the 90s comes up in this podcast.
Take the under.
I don't understand how that's an over/under question.
0.5. Over under 0.5 friends mentions in this next story. Listeners, you can play it at home as well.
Spoiler alert: they talk about friends.
Well, now they're going to know what the comment. I, 23 female, have been married to my husband, 27 male, for a little over 2 years. And we've been together for over 5. When we got married, he knew I was bisexual and had shared my past experience with a girl. Only one. For reference, it didn't go past the kissing stage, and our time together was very brief. About 2/3 of a week.
Which means they had just signed the U-Haul rental agreement.
Yep.
We're doing all the hits, and I'm taking credit for all of them.
You can do that. The lesbians are going to love that one. I shared this part of me to my husband before we got married and knew it was something that made him uncomfortable, but he still
Why?
accepted me
Why
and
is it
loved
making him
me
uncomfortable?
for whu I was. Religious beliefs. He's
Piece of
actually
shit.
really into the American Pope.
And his name, Pizza Balla.
Shared this before we got married. I knew it was something that made him uncomfortable, but he still accepted me and loved me for who I was.
That doesn't sound like it.
Or so I thought. Over time, he was randomly bringing it up in random situations, which I never found bad in a way since I was just like, okay, whatever. He's just being annoying. But since we would never fight or argue about it, I didn't see it as a problem when he did bring it up. I've had one serious conversation with him about the topic and let him know that I love him and that I chose to marry him. That I would never cheat on him, and if I did, it would probably be with a guy, not a girl.
That's not an appropriate thing to say.
I think that might be just an indictment on him as a person.
Yeah.
Not even the fact that he's a guy. I think if you're in a relationship and you're like, yeah, I've kind of already put a little bit of thought into cheating on you. Because I have ran through this scenario in my head a couple times. The simulation's been ran.
I got a couple people in mind. It's mostly Scott from work and Kevin from work and Tevin from work. They're twins.
And you remember Lydia? Yeah, her brother, that guy.
I also made it clear to him that if he could not accept me for who I am, we should not be together. I accept him for all of his faults and defects.
Defects is wild.
Yeah, I don't know if I read it as defects the first
my
time.
husband's defective.
His defects.
Oh, he's got a Y chromosome, doesn't he?
Even though being
LOL.
anything but heterosexual isn't a fault or defect. And God knows this man isn't perfect. I've forgiven him for looking at other girls a few times on his cell phone and for watching porn when we already said we wouldn't do that in our relationship.
And I think those are both normal, healthy, and good things to have in a relationship.
The first time you said that, you
Wrong.
were like crashing out a lot more.
Because it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe she's downplaying it to be like, well, he's not perfect. He looked at girls on phone once.
His algorithm brings up women.
It's like, man.
Explain that to
The
me.
bar is fucking high.
My algorithm also brings up
Whose doesn't? Women are great.
It's true.
Name one woman.
Erica's algo's crazy. I know the two situations aren't comparable,
He
but
said my name.
I brought it up for the sake of the argument. Anyways, here's the issue. Last night, we were having dinner while watching Friends on TV. And mind you, ever since we started watching that show together, he's never seen it, he makes little comments about him turning out like Ross, who plays a divorced character because his wife left him for another woman. I always ignore it or tell him to stop, but since he says it in such a lighthearted way, I never felt the need to argue or say much. As whenever this does happen, I usually will be like, babe, stop, I love you. And that usually is the end of the conversation. He doesn't do it in a mean way, but I can tell he's frustrated by my sexuality.
Which is mean.
In what way? Like, what are you doing that's like putting it in his face that you are bisexual? Like, what is so upsetting about it?
Every time Lisa Kudrow walks through the door, she goes, "Oh, the things I would do."
Okay.
You two have such a fucking type. It is wild to me how pinned down your two's desires are. Can I say that?
Oh, we
Like,
can't
she's-
love each
I'm
other.
ready.
We can't. It's the alcohol. It's hot in here.
Yeah, because you're thinking about white blonde women. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're married to one.
My wife looks like Rachel, you sons of bitches.
You do. You do look like Jennifer Aniston.
Thanks.
Never mind. Is that
Should I have said fuck you?
I was expecting praise.
It's one of those things where I can't pin it down. I have thought that you look like her, and I know a bunch of other people have said you look like her. I don't know how to pin it down, but there is something about you. The aura.
You got the aura,
Okay.
yeah.
It's the nipples always poking out.
Oh my god.
It's not.
Wasn't that a thing on Friends? I haven't really watched it either. My teenage boy brain knows this is a trivia fact about it. Back to the story.
Imagine you're at trivia night and the answer is Rachel's nipples are always erect.
That was the 90s, baby.
Yeah.
Say it.
What's her name? I keep forgetting the actress's name.
Jennifer Aniston.
I just could not get Sandra Bullock's name out of my head either.
Oh,
They're very
Yeah.
interchangeable to me sometimes.
they're coming out with a new Practical Magic.
I've never seen that. Well, you talked about that on the show before.
It's
How
one
much
of
you
my
love it.
favorite
Yeah.
movies, especially Halloween time. Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock are probably at their hottest ever in that movie. in my opinion.
They wear blonde wigs.
No, one's a dark brunette and the other's a redhead.
Okay, back to the story.
Yeah.
A scene came up with Ross and his ex-wife with her new wife, and he randomly looked at me with so much disgust and frustration and yelled, "Why did I even marry you?"
It's very
With his
Ross-esque.
hands in the air in a frustrated form. That's exactly what I thought reading this.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how I delivered it the first time we recorded this.
And this is about where we realized it wasn't recording anymore.
Pretty close.
I looked at him and was like, what the hell? I was genuinely confused. Like, what? We aren't even having a conversation or anything. We're literally in the middle of dinner watching TV. I quickly caught on to what he was referring to in terms of his statement, and I instantly felt like shit. I told him he effed up and to not talk to me, and then I got up and went into our bedroom and cried. He said effed up shit in the past, but it's usually during an argument after I've been a B word for a while.
Which is insane.
But this hurt.
That
They are
is
censoring
insane.
themselves.
It's not insane that they're censoring themselves. I mean, it is.
A little bit.
It is funny they keep saying effed up, but then they say shit. And they also don't say the B word. But they're fine with shit.
It's just crazy to be like, well, I kind of deserved him being mean to me because I was being a bitch. I mean,
Whoa!
he told me I was being a
Ouch.
bitch.
Ouch!
Like, that's crazy.
No.
That's so
stop.
sad. It's so sad.
It hurt more than it would have if it would have been said during an argument. But no, he said it when we were peacefully having dinner. He looked so disgusted and frustrated at me when he said those words. Anyways, he followed me into our bedroom and started saying how if he knew I was bi before we got married, which he did, he would have never married me because he wouldn't want to have people making fun of him for me being with a woman after we get divorced.
Who is making fun of him? And why do you think that that's what's going to happen? And why are you automatically thinking you're getting divorced?
One of you is like, we're going to get divorced. The other one is like, I'm going to cheat on you with the guy. Just fucking break up.
Yeah, this is not.
You're not happy.
This is not it.
I told him that if we ever did divorce, he should not care what I did after him.
Correct.
He spends his time saying how he doesn't care about others' opinions, so why does he suddenly care in this situation? It's more like this hits his ego and makes him insecure, I suspect.
Yep.
I let him know that I'm happy to accompany him to get a divorce if he isn't able to accept me for who I truly am, and that if he is able to accept me, he needs to drop the subject and let it go. I am with him and not with anyone else. He should not be focused on our marriage and not what I would or wouldn't do in a hypothetical divorce. I told him he's being an ID blank blank T.
For real?
Yeah.
Just censoring it.
Whoa, ouch. Ouch.
Don't say the I slur.
Don't say the I slur, dude. What the hell?
Blake, cut out the I slur, please.
Fuck.
The I slur.
Is that the bad guy in the Lorax?
I think it's the tandem fighting duo in Super Smash Brothers.
We gotta stop making jokes if we want it cut out. I told him to stop being an ID blank blank T.
I genuinely can't say it.
Stop! Ew! And he's ruining our marriage by doing stuff like this. Mm-hmm. And then said a few more things, but quickly just told him to leave me alone. And that I did not want to speak to him for the moment. He said a few words, but I honestly didn't care to hear them and turned my back and fell asleep. Kind of impressive.
That is impressive.
I woke up in the middle of the night and didn't find him in our bed, but sleeping on our couch, which he has
where he should
never
be.
done before in our 3 years of living together.
Wait, what? Haven't they been married for? They've been dating for 5 years.
Dating for 5, married for 2, living for 3.
Okay.
In sin for one of those years.
I guess I just need advice on how to proceed. He's a great person and a great husband. He is very loving and kind and is a very open-minded person and is accepting of everyone's sexuality, except for mine, I guess. But his words hurt me more than anything else he's ever done or said in the past, and I don't know if I can get over that. I feel so sad. He really hurt me. I don't know how to move forward. This morning, we barely spoke and neither of us said I love you before heading out. Any advice, internet?
Break up.
Immediately. Yesterday. she touched on it for a second about how it feels like it's not even like it's like an ego thing for him.
Yeah.
I mean, this plays into that trope that like you saw a ton in like 90s and 2000s movies, and you still see people echo it today. The idea of like, you were the last guy I dated, and then now I'm a lesbian, and it's like supposed to feel like emasculating. Like this is like a trope in like the 90s and 2000 movies or whatever. And it feels like obviously it's coming from a place of biphobia, homophobia, and also just like straight up misogyny. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking insane to harbor that against your wife, who you allegedly love.
Correct.
And for no fucking reason. If you get into a fight over a fucking episode of Friends, I don't think you should be allowed to vote. I think a lot of rights should be stripped from you amongst our Constitution.
Okay.
I think that is embarrassing and frankly not very cool of you.
Hello, Gray. Come here.
Yeah. I think you should lose rights to due process. I think you should probably
straight to CCOT, and I've always said that.
I mean, we thought Trump was doing a slippery slope, and now Josh has proven us all right.
Can I be any more Trump?
Wow. Great Trump impersonation / Chandler Bing.
R.I.P.
Well, Chandler's
one.
not dead.
Wow.
Matthew
Wait.
Perry's dead. The character is still alive, canonically.
They didn't.
I'm just kidding.
I would kill him off. if I'm
Yeah.
there.
They're gonna recast him? That'd be insane.
That'd be awful.
That'd be so rude. I received very funny information during that story.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is that how you laugh? I was informed that one of my aunts, who's actually my great aunt, it's a little bit of an Erica situation,
Oh, boy.
saw 3 Days Grace live before I did.
I've seen 3 Days Grace live.
So that's kind of fun.
Did you go with his aunt? Great aunt.
No. What year was that? 2010?
I didn't get invited.
2008?
Well, I think she just saw him like this weekend.
This riot?
And which is very funny. Oh, my other aunt. I have multiple aunts with the same name.
Oh.
So it was my aunt, not my great aunt.
Okay.
Loses a little bit of
That's
the
just
deal.
funny. I don't know. Why would an old person go to a 3 Days Grace concert? I'm not old, I'm young.
Right.
So that's just funny to me.
It was just a good show back then.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
I would see 3 Days Grace. I don't think I'd go out of my way to do it.
If they're at a county fair, I'm going.
Yeah, that's fair.
What are you going to say? I'm sorry to cut you off.
I don't remember. It's
That's
fine.
circus.
/relationship _ advice. You're done, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't have any other 3 Days Grace titles to make a pun off of.
I had a 3 Days Grace shirt, and my grandma thought it said 3 Dogs Face.
Okay, that's a really good band name.
3 Dogs. You think a lot of things are really good band names. That's not a slight, just an observation.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing, is the observation of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel slighted about this one. I do think it's not I wouldn't start, if I was doing a circle jerk, I wouldn't start with that one. I would put it in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would wait till I see your attention is waning, and I would slide that one in, and you guys would be like, okay, let's finish up the circle jerk.
Your attention is waning is a really good name for this podcast episode.
Fuck.
Well, for us, we're like an hour in already.
Yeah.
My roommates are mad at me because I've been putting canned oysters in the breakfast smoothies.
What the fuck?
In or out of shell, right? That's what we're
It's
all
gotta
wondering.
be out of shell.
I've never had
Because
a canned oysters.
I've never had an uncanned oyster.
I've
True.
never had an oyster ever.
Yeah, they look gross.
Did I have one when I was in South Carolina?
I don't think I could be a big enough boy to try it.
We went to Joe's Crab Shack and
Is that a chain?
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's just we went to to
It's just,
my ex-podcast co-host's crab shack.
yeah, I just feel like
That's what he calls his
It's-
bedroom.
it's really, really funny.
Allegedly.
I just think it's wild to like be in a coastal city and then be like, let's do the chain.
Brother, we only ate at chains.
No!
He was the local. He was supposed to show us the good stuff.
Fuck, he's not actually a local. He's lying about that
Hey,
too.
Maybe. And he got like a crab pot. And it was supposed to have like all of the things in it. And
Okay.
it was either an oyster or a
Clam.
what's the
Mussel?
S one? Or maybe it was a mussel.
Scallop.
Like, it was one of those bivalves. And I don't even fucking care if they're not all bivalves before you fucking get into the comment section. It was one of those in there, and I did have one of it, and it's just the consistency is just a booger.
Yeah, that's
Like when you-
that's oyster, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so
I've had a scallop. The scallop was pretty good.
yeah. I've had those with potatoes.
Scallop potatoes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's like a burp stuck at the back of my throat. Erica's gonna be mad. That one's gonna smell. But I love you. I've been doing healthy eating since quarantine. Sometimes, by bad luck, my healthy eating has led to conflicts for me.
What?
I've been making breakfast smoothies for months. What do I put in these smoothies? I'm glad you ask. First, a non-dairy milk like almonds, soy, or my favorite, oat.
Oat's the best.
Then
the
I
goat.
put 2 greens, usually kale and spinach. Then a nice berry fruit like blueberries or raspberries or a mix. Oh, getting kind of fresh with it. Holy shit. Then either chia seeds or flax seeds. They're good for fiber. What can I say? Then my secret ingredient, a can of canned oysters. Usually I use Crown Prince canned oysters, but I'll use Bumblebee if that's all they have.
I was gonna judge you if you chose to use Bumblebee canned oysters.
Now, to me, this is very delicious. First of all, an oyster is very healthy to eat. Protein, vitamin D, vitamin B12, healthy fats, all kinds of other stuff.
Makes me want to fuck.
More vitamin D than you could get from sunning your hole. Interesting that they wrote that on there. It's very, very healthy to eat. Combined with the nice fruits and veggies and the non-dairy milk, hello, it's a cup of nutrition. Well, my roommates seen me having smoothies and asked to try it. Said, yeah. They said it was so good.
Okay.
And out of good manners, I began making 3 cups worth of smoothies in our blender each morning. And my 2 roommates will each have a smoothie with me. Now, they never really paid attention when I was making the smoothies and assumed only fruits and veggies were in the ingredients. Until this morning, my one roommate saw me pour a can of oysters into the blender. What the fuck is that? She said.
Okay, yeah.
A normal.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's a mild reaction,
That
actually.
is an appropriate crash out moment.
It turned out my 2 roommates had no idea that there were oysters in the
Who
smoothies.
would think? Who would think that?
And
Who would
we're-
think, oh, you're making me a smoothie? I hope there's not oysters in it. Hey, hold the oysters out of mine. I'm not a fan.
Wait,
It's a smoothie.
Wait, what are you putting in that? Oysters? No! Thank you. I set my own joke.
These are some of the least. Blake, put on a picture of some canned oysters. Some of the least appetizing things.
They're
What
really
the
healthy.
fuck?
It looks like wet rocks.
That looks
healthy.
like gallstones.
Yeah, it looks like I.
Here's the
yeah.
thing. I don't want to know that there's canned oysters in my smoothie. I'll drink a smoothie with canned oysters.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it, I don't see what the problem is.
I can't ever watch it being made.
Yeah, you don't want to see the sausage get made. You can't put the
Well,
canned
smoothies.
oyster back in the tube.
Ugh, this is vile.
She said, what the fuck? It turned out my 2 roommates had no idea that there were oysters in the smoothies and were very upset at me,
Yeah, I bet.
causing an interpersonal conflict.
I'll let you finish.
My one roommate said it was revolting, and my other roommate also thought it was gross, but didn't use as harsh terms. I should note, they didn't write that I said that because they had to have revolting in quotes. I should note, one roommate claims to hate oysters in general, and one roommate likes real oysters, like you get at a seafood place, but thinks canned oysters somehow became gross and are not authentic. This is going to be one of those things where it's like canned oysters are actually healthier than most oysters you can get. Isn't that how like frozen fruit is?
Canned oysters is, yeah, because they don't have as many preservatives in it. Canned oysters is like bacon bits. It's not even real oysters.
Yeah. I told them that they were being stupid because they both loved my smoothie for months. So obviously they did like the taste of oysters being blended up. They said I should not have kept it a secret and claim I have betrayed them.
Did you ever once ask what was in these smoothies? Did you say, hey, what are you putting in these smoothies? It tastes so good. No? Okay,
No.
then.
They said I should have disclosed what was in the smoothies. I said that it's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
If one of them were vegan or allergic to oysters, I, of course, would have never made the smoothie for them. But as they had no such thing, I thought it was not my responsibility to specify every single ingredient of the smoothie.
Why the fuck would you know if they were allergic to oysters, though, is the thing.
I feel like a roommate should know what you're allergic to.
I guess.
That was
Being
one of
funny?
the first conversations that we had as roommates with Sydney and Rob. That's how I found out that Rob was allergic to bananas.
Huh.
That's a stupid thing to be allergic to. I'm sorry.
That's what I
That
said.
feels made up.
I can't take you serious if you're fucking allergic to
That feels
That's
made up.
literally what I said
insane.
to him.
We're literally evolved from monkeys, and don't fact check me on that. How can you be allergic to the banana?
Also, the bananas are, we've strayed from God's light to create the banana. How can you be allergic to a science experiment?
And I really
I think we'll find out
love
later.
when people are like, I don't eat GMOs.
Yeah.
Like, well, have you ever had a banana?
Yeah.
That's GMO, babe.
You ever had anything?
Yep.
You're a
It's
GMO.
GMO.
Your dog, GMO.
Don't
And this
talk
whole
about
thing's
it.
starting to PMO.
Yeah.
They want me to stop making the oyster smoothies. I told them never. They can make their own smoothies and, for that matter, buy their own blender. They're very mad at me, and they're very mad at me and insist I apologize for deceiving them.
So they want you to continue making smoothies sans oyster?
Yeah.
They can fuck right off.
Agreed.
Fuck you.
How can I repair my relationships with my roommates? And am I truly in the wrong for making oyster smoothies?
Yes, because that's gross and
Yeah,
I'm judging you.
Separate issue.
That's a whole separate thing. But in this situation, I don't feel like unless they're specifically asking you like, hey, what's in this smoothie? That's when you should be like, oh, here's every ingredient I did. But if they're not asking,
Yeah.
then no, it's not,
This is such an insane situation because on neither ends would I have let this happen. If I am the person who is the smoother and somebody says, can you make me some? I'll say, okay, just so you know, here's what's in it. Like I would just always do that.
Yeah.
And if I was the smoothie, I was the one receiving the smoothies, I would I'm like, oh, that's good. What's in it? That would
Yeah.
be my first fucking question.
Yeah.
That's just
Well, my first question would be, can I have some? And then the second question would be, that's good. What is it? There's just no real reason or real situation that I would find myself in to where I would not know what's in this thing.
I made a smoothie this morning.
What was in it? Can I have some? Is it good?
It was delicious. It was yogurt, plain vanilla yogurt, frozen blueberries, frozen bananas, frozen spinach, not flaxseed. What's the other one? Chia seeds and peanut butter, and a little splash of whole milk.
I don't fuck with GMOs.
Okay.
It sounds good.
How would you
It's
guys
delicious.
handle the news if you took a little sip of the smoothie, like, that's yummy, and then you went, "What's in that?" And they tell you
Oyster?
oyster.
I'd be
I
like,
would
and
say
obviously-
you're lying.
Obviously, oyster is for sure the last ingredient they tell you.
Absolutely. it
They
is.
are building
No.
a case.
they might hit you with let me think, raspberries, depending. Sometimes I'll mix the berries, oyster, and then chia seed, flaxseed. Like, what was that last one? Like flaxseed? No. You know what I was talking about, fucker.
Raspberry and can oyster.
But bumblebee oyster. What was the other things? No, I wouldn't respond. I would just be like, okay, that's weird, but
Would
I
it hurt
liked
your
it.
Would it hurt your stomach? Would you drink another one? What if they told you
Yeah,
like
if I liked
smoothie
it.
3? Are you more likely to drink it? I feel
They're
like a smoothie
3
one.
months into smoothies.
No, I'm just saying. I'm here's especially I'm thinking of you. If I told you oysters in it, smoothie 1, you're done.
Yeah.
If I get you 3-4 smoothies in, tell you there's oysters.
This is like a sweet potato pie.
Here we go.
That was one pie. Now we can't get you to try it again.
Here we go, folks. A guy lies to his friend 1,000 times, and it's the 1,001st one that really pisses her off. I haven't told you about the other 1,000.
Everybody else in the room knows.
That felt really Eli or Jesse Gemstone of him, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Way to be righteous about it.
Yeah.
All right, we got one really quick one before the break. This one's coming to us from
Just feel like you can make all these
Today?
Dexter jokes and comments when you're watching Dexter all the time, but when you start watching Righteous Gemstones and I can't make a joke.
I allowed you to.
Yeah, but you made a comment. So
I played into
joke
the
back.
joke. I riffed.
I just wanted to make the comment that
Was that
watching
not John Goodman of me to do? I'm at the limit of my Righteous Gemstones knowledge. I am at the very tippy top of my Righteous
We're
Gemstones
on episode
knowledge.
1 of season 2, and it felt like in season 1, John Goodman, they didn't have him be a bad guy. In season 2, they're really building him up to be a bad guy.
I don't know. I felt like he was still kind of a bad guy in the first season. I think they're all bad guys.
Yeah. But John Goodman was always just like, he was just like, come on, guys. Yeah, he wanted the best for his children, and now he's just like a crime lord. And
Spoiler.
He's not a crime lord yet.
Spoiler.
I said yet.
I don't know if that's where
I
it goes.
don't know if that's where it goes. I haven't seen it.
But they're already painting him to be a much meaner guy in the season. Anyways, from today, I fricked up. Today, I fricked up by wearing my AirPods to a job interview and forgetting they had a mic.
So you hit by a car? Why the fuck
This,
wearing your AirPods to an interview?
I had a Zoom interview. This happened a couple days ago, and I'm still cringing. I had a Zoom interview for a remote position. It was full-time, had benefits, seemed like a solid opportunity. So I actually took the time to prepare. Had notes, practiced my answers, even change into a decent shirt. Pajama pants were still making the cut, though. It seems insane to keep on the gym shorts.
I guess it depends, right? Because like some people, you know, in today's hiring market, especially depending on the
Position.
just the field.
Okay.
Like some people go through literally hundreds of interviews.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking putting on Sunday best every single time if I'm on interview 92.
I'm not saying Sundays is best, but I think if you put on a pair of black like jeans, if for some reason you stand up, people aren't gonna be like, "Why are you wearing gym shorts right now?"
Yeah. I think if I'm standing up in an interview, it's already lost.
True. That's a that's a sign of weakness. Standing up in an interview.
Art of the deal, folks. Make them stand up first.
So I'm sitting there waiting for the host to join, and I got my AirPods in like always. I didn't think twice. Zoom said waiting for host, so I figured I had a minute to just relax. And for some reason, I started talking to myself out loud. Not loud, just kind of mumbling pep talk stuff to myself like, okay, just be normal. You got this. Don't ramble, smile, pretend like you have it together. Then I muttered, you're not a mess. You just look like one right now. And that's when I heard, hey, we can hear you, by the way. No rush, though. Turns out the interviewer had joined silently and Zoom defaulted to my AirPods mic. So I had been broadcasting my little self-deprecating prep talk straight into the meeting. I froze. Couldn't even think of a recovery. Just awkwardly laughed, turned on my camera, and tried to power through the interview like nothing happened. The interview went okay, I think, but now the HR guy definitely knows I'm running mostly on vibes and caffeine. The end. Nice little short one.
Cute.
I wonder if they got the job.
Joshua.
Hey, yeah.
So my mom's buying the house across the street from us.
Rich. Okay. In a random direction.
Yeah.
Across the street.
In a random street
yeah.
direction.
Okay. Anyways, I had to meet with the neighbor we're doing a private sale, and I had met with the lawyer and the the neighbor to go over the paperwork. And I walk in my brace, and the lawyer stands up to shake my hand.
You need an injury lawyer?
He stands up and like puts out his right hand to shake it. And I was like, and he just kept it out. So
You gotta commit.
give me your hand, your right hand. Give me your right hand. Okay. So I went,
Yeah.
and just grabbed his hand like that. It was so fucking awkward
You
and
should have made him kiss the
uncomfortable.
ring.
I should
Have one of
have.
these.
The pleasure is all yours, I'm sure. And it was so fucking awkward and uncomfortable. And I was just like, yeah, I can't really shake hands. I had surgery. And he just was like, yep, okay, moving on. And I feel like I will be having nightmares about this moment in 25 years.
But he was the one who was embarrassing. And you still feel like
I still feel like I should have, I don't know,
slapped him?
probably. But I don't know. I'm so dumb.
I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting that you're taking it so personally. Because
I think it's on him.
Yeah,
to-
it's an entirely.
It really is. And because I literally cannot like reach out. I can't reach
Right.
out.
Or even like this motion, I imagine
That would be
suck.
horrible for me.
Yeah. He
But
should
I
be
just-
disbarred.
He couldn't have like stuck out his left hand for me.
Yeah. Fucking lawyers.
You should
I
have just
know.
flipped. You should have flipped it up.
Let me hit that. That's not bad.
Really?
That's not bad.
Oh, I hated it.
That's
I
not
hated
bad.
It. No, I
Upside
hated
down.
It.
left
Is it
hand.
better than the
dainty?
dainty?
Wow.
Have you seen the TikToks? I'm sure he makes longer form content. It's like the quote unquote harmless pranks or whatever. But he goes to job interviews and just starts drinking beer during the interview.
Yes, and like gaslights them.
And she's like, no, it wasn't a beer. And
He
just
holds up
keeps-
like a Pepsi can.
keeps drinking beer.
That's
I've
pretty
seen
sick.
What a way to waste
I don't
a
think it's job
company's
interviews.
time.
I think it's a meeting with like his supervisor or something. It's a Zoom meeting with his supervisor.
I've seen other, multiple versions of it. but
That's crazy.
they're almost assuredly all fake, but
Yeah.
it's still funny.
That's yeah. Hey, it gets me teeing and heeing. I've never seen it. See you on the other side of this break. Bye.
And welcome back on this side of the podcast where we like to do,
Circle Judge. What the hell? It's the Circle Judge.
and that is the audience favorite part of the podcast. Honestly, we could do a podcast of just circle judges.
This one might hurt if it's just this circle judge.
And that's where we judge around this circle judge. We do a lot of judging of others, and now we allow ourselves to be judged in this segment, or we do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. Except for it's less of a circle, more of a triangle.
It started out as a line, so we're getting more circle adjacent.
It's true.
Circle adjacent. Well, Jason.
This circle judge is titled "How offended are you?" And I just need a scale of 1 to 5.
Hello, Molly.
How offended do you feel by this? Hey, Josh. Numbnuts.
Oh, fuck. Is this coming from you or in general? Is this coming from you or in general?
In general.
Oh, it's like a 7.
Okay.
Numbnuts hits hard. I didn't expect it to, but you really got me with it.
All right.
Hey, Erica. Fartwad.
I'm not offended at all.
What if a
Fucking-
stranger called you fartwad?
Okay, are they 10? I'm not offended.
Okay, here's
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
A 1 to a 10.
A 1.
1. I'm not
Okay.
offended.
Freakazoid.
Are you asking me or Erica?
I'm just going to put it out to the audience this time.
Okay.
Freakazoid.
Maybe a 2.
3. It's not very.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fast circle, George.
We can pontificate if you want me to pontificate. Poindexter?
Is that on the list?
No way, right?
No.
Okay, I thought I fucking called your shot.
No, you fucking dingbat. Why would I have such a stupid word on that list?
Dingbat. That's getting there.
Really?
That's getting there.
I think it's like a 2 for me.
I would say that's like a 4.
It's the least offensive for me yet.
And I know we've definitely talked about this word before. We've had a whole circle jerk about it, but twerp.
I'm offended.
Twerp.
I'm offended.
It's like a 5 for me, middle of the road.
I'm gonna go with like a 6.
Okay.
Them's ain't fighting words.
I think anything above a 5, I'm going to be offended.
Yeah.
Do we
But
feel
like a 10 is like you have crossed a fucking line.
Well, there's not gonna be any of those on this list.
That's fine. I'm just saying that's what my scale is.
You were pretty close to numbnuts.
Numbnuts gotcha. I didn't expect it to rile you up that hard.
Or is there more?
I have a
There's
lot of
more.
I have a lot of feeling in my nuts is all. And I get tired of people making fun of me about
I guess
it.
I forgot to even write down what started this idea, but it's the thought of like there's nothing good to call people anymore. It's either like it ends up being like, oh, that's a slur. You should not be saying that.
Yeah.
Or it's just like we don't say that anymore.
Yeah. My testicles are empaths.
Yeah.
My sister and I just had this conversation today in the car.
Why were you talking about my balls?
I'm always talking about your balls, Joshua. She's been calling people ninnies,
And
which is
like
short for nincompoop.
Yeah.
this is fucked up. Next one on the list, nincompoop.
I'm not offended at all. That's
Ninny
that's a 1.
That sounds like you shouldn't be saying it. And I know it comes from
no,
nincompoop.
for sure.
But it's like, what's going on there? That's
So what's more offensive, ninny or nincompoop?
I think they're same. Neither of them are offensive to me, but if you say ninny, I'm going to be like, huh?
Toby says that it's extra funny to her because nobody knows what it means anymore.
Yeah, it's an old, yeah.
Yeah. So when she's like, you ninny, and they're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
bird brain. Listen
Okay.
here, bird brain.
That feels gendered to me. Is that a me thing?
Yeah.
Like what I mean by that is I feel like if I say that to a woman, that's meaner than if I say it to a
It's
man.
like you saying the B word.
But I think it's because bird. I think
that's
because, like,
what when she had it
because-
censored out. I thought there was too many asterisks.
It's a bird brain.
But I think a real bird brain.
I think it's because of my association with like women being birds. You know what I mean?
Huh?
No.
Like the British.
Like Sweet D.
Yeah, like Sweet D is a bird, but that's as an insult. Yeah.
Okay.
I think bird brain's like a 4.
Okay. Doofus.
Well, you didn't let her give us a 1
Oh,
to 10
shit.
on bird brain. You fucking bird brain. Fuck.
I might be
That
offended by
hurt.
that. I
Bird brain
think
get
bird
ya?
brain might give me. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doofus.
Nah,
Depends on the context, really.
1. You can call
Doofus
with
is
a
a little
3.
silly goofy.
If I post something and someone comments you doofus, I'm not taking them seriously.
Okay. I'll remember this. You dope.
Dope.
So that's in like reference to like a dope head
Okay.
or like a dope fiend,
Oh.
right?
I have no idea.
That's why you would be called a dope.
Like heroin? Is
Is
that what dope is?
I thought it was marijuana.
I don't think.
I think
I
you
don't know.
smoke dope.
Right.
But I think a dope head or dope fiend, I don't know. I guess I don't fiend for weed. I think I fiend for heroin, the H.
Yeah.
What?
Smack. But you do smoke dope.
Dope.
I don't think dope's hitting
Fiend.
home for me, bud.
Meaning.
Dope doesn't hurt.
No, it's
Dope
like
hurts me a
that's
little
like a
bit.
2. I think dolt is worse.
Dolt.
Yeah. I thought you were going with the dolt angle.
I wish I would have thought of dolt. Here's the thing. It's hard to even like Google this to find like ideas of like
It's
words
a
I have.
narcotic.
So probably heroin.
So probably heroin.
But
What
you're
does
right,
it mean
though.
if somebody's a dope? What does it mean
But
to
it
be a
just
dope?
means that they're like dumb.
Well,
Like,
yeah. I
like
think
they've
it's-
got dope brain.
I think it
They've done too
came
many
from-
drugs.
I think it came from before heroin.
I don't think there's a life before heroin. Is that just a me thing?
Dope is a thing. It's like in like the
Middle Ages.
maintenance world,
The town dope.
like plumbing dope. I'm pretty sure is a thing.
Dope.
I think that's what your dad called you when you were old and white, right?
Fuck.
Don't be a plumbing dope, Christian.
A drug taken illegally, especially marijuana or heroin. A
Weird.
stupid person. Administer
Pipe
drugs
dope is the
to
thing.
smear or cover with varnish or other thick liquid.
A pipe dope.
Or very good.
Huh.
I hate that. I
Oh,
hate
yeah,
that they just
dope.
changed it at the end.
No, there's like 7 definitions here. We have it as a noun, a verb, or an adjective.
This one also. This one feels like it probably has a bad history. Pinhead.
Who you calling a pinhead?
Yeah, I think the SpongeBob episode really like disarms it.
Yeah.
I think it really disarms it. I think that's like a 4.
Okay.
I think Sans SpongeBob episode, I would think that's like a 6.
Okay.
I'm not offended by pinhead.
That has to have a bad history to it, right? That's got to be like, what does Ebola give you? Like little head, like encephala.
Microencephaly, but that's not Ebola.
What's the one?
Zika virus gives you
Zika
microencephaly.
It was around the same time.
What's the word I'm looking at? Pinhead.
You don't need to look up every word.
Origin.
Oh.
I just brought up the guy.
Insult.
Final one here. You twit.
No, 2. Twit, no. Are you kidding me? Go back to the retirement home.
Fuck.
I think that's just embarrassing for you. If you call me a twit, I'm not going to be offended.
It's not coming. It's literally the pin of a head.
All right.
I don't think it's anything more than that.
My favorite insults, I said this a while ago, because obviously we get a lot of internet comments from fucking, sacks of shit. I like calling people weirdo. And I fucking started calling people weirdos before Tim Walls did. Let it be fucking known. It's one of the first week we started posting Instagram Reels, I was responding to people calling them weirdos. I think weirdos hits hard.
Oh, weirdos does hit hard.
Because it's like, it's got the playground aspect of it to where it like takes you back to when you were probably a fucking loser on the playground.
Yeah.
And you were a weirdo. But it also completely disarms what you're saying. Like, particularly when people were commenting, like, you shouldn't get an abortion, like, abortions is murder, whatever. I'm like, shut the fuck up, weirdo. Or, like, if someone's being transphobic, it's like, you're being a fucking weirdo. Like, why do you care?
Yeah.
And that's why it was supposed to fucking work when Tim Walz did it, and then the Democratic Party neutered him. And I also like moron. Moron right now is huge for me.
Okay, morons.
Like, you're being a moron. You're being moronic.
I stick with my tried and true big dumb idiot.
Yeah. But, like, I'm not going to hurt anyone's feelings, I feel like, if I call him a big dumb idiot.
Oh, I never say it in like a mean way.
we're
But
trying
that's
to
what
say
we're
mean
talking
stuff.
about it, though.
Oh.
I guess I want to start firing back in the comments. So, how do I get past?
I like weirdo. I like moron. Because you're right. You don't want to go into anything that like is insulting,
Yeah.
whether it be against peoples, a race, or a mental disability.
Yeah.
Right. And so even if you really want to get in the fucking weeds of the woke weeds, like you're not even supposed to say like lame, right? Like lame has a history of it being used in a
As being disabled,
Yes.
being lame.
So I definitely stay away from those. That's why I like
How
moron.
about unfortunate?
Okay.
I could see that working for you.
Like, you said
You can
something to
deliver
me,
that
and I was
good.
like, "You're very unfortunate."
Yeah, I could see that. I
That
could see that.
hurt. I wish I had better delivery with my
Yeah,
the way I was saying
unfortunate.
it.
yeah.
I even wrote a little pep talk myself saying, "Please lean into the delivery."
You got me, dude. You nailed it with numbnuts.
Well, that
You
was the
plastered
first
me
one.
to a fucking wall.
Good.
So play back the tape. I was hurt. My nuts felt all of it though.
They're not numb at all. Do we think edgy content going away is leading into a bigger alt-right pipeline?
I think you're a fool if you. Fool's really good.
Fool.
I think you're a fool if you think edgy content is going away. Do you mean previously and now it's making a big comeback?
I feel like we've skipped over like cutesy edgy to being just racist edgy again.
Give
And-
me an example of cutesy edgy.
Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah, I don't know, 2012 till 2015.
You really got to be more specific with what you mean by that.
I don't know.
I think I know what you're saying, but like, okay, so like someone who's like quote unquote cutesy edgy now is just like bringing back the R word.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like that's like the closest you would get, where it's like, to me, it's still like, that's not worth it.
That's kind of what started this whole circle, Judge, was that it's like People are really saying this word again.
Yeah, the
No.
R word.
We
Is,
gotta get people a new word because we gotta get people a new word here.
yeah, it's obviously an unacceptable term. But I think Shane Gillis would fall into that category where it's like he's edgy, but he's probably not like the biggest piece of shit in the world. And then
Yeah.
you have Kill Tony,
Yeah.
who is really good friends with Shane Gillis. It's
Yeah.
like, well, it's sort of like a, bad apple situation.
You call me a bad apple, I'm hurt.
Your whole bunch is spoiled.
If I called you,
I think we got to get cerebral with it. We got to make
Yeah.
them do half the work. If you say someone your whole bunch is spoiled, they're thinking about that for a couple weeks minimum. Yeah, I don't know. I like weirdo. I like moron. I think those bite.
weirdo works.
What a
really good.
waste.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're very dismissive with yours. Like you want to dismiss them. And I think I'm going for more of an insult. It's just a different way. You know what I mean?
I still find it insulting.
No, for sure. I guess I'm trying to more attack and you're being more dismissive. It's just an observation. That's all I'm doing here. Just making commentary.
I'm
Good
thinking
baby.
of things that would
Just an
really hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Four eyes need glasses to see.
I literally told Christian when I got glasses, I'm like, don't fucking say this to me. He said it to me and I started sobbing.
Yeah.
This is crazy because I have to be. We have a silly, goofy relationship, and to come in and say, "Hey, you know the funny thing we say a lot? Don't say that." And you didn't. And maybe if you hit me with that, I'm being 100% honest right now. You said like, "Don't say this to me."
Yeah.
I did say, don't say this to me. I will cry.
And that's like, but like, come on, that phrasing sounds like I'm being hyperbolic. Like, come on, don't make me feel like. And then I say it clearly as a joke too.
I know you did, but it still hurt my feelings. Instantly sobbed. Did you feel bad?
Yeah, I'm sure I did. I don't feel not bad now. I feel like I did nothing wrong in the context of our relationship here. I feel like there was a
Okay.
precedent set of us being silly goofy. And after the Circle Judge, we always have a listener submitted sound. This sound comes to us from Jamie.
From Scotland?
Jamais.
No, from France, probably. This is Le Poisson Steve, but make it your introduction. Love your pod. Love you guys. Maybe I'll make a real version of this eventually. Love, Jamie.
Is that the chess move?
No.
Oh, my chess heads will love that one.
I don't know. How to play chess.
The judge, the judges, with Bessie Chrissy, with Ricky and Josh. Judgies.
It was so quiet.
They're French. They're delicate.
They're delicate. And for all of those that don't know what Le Poisson Steve is, it's a little video, a little TikTok, and it's a little earworm.
Yo, send that to me.
What are you going to do with it?
Listen to it.
Will you really?
Probably.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever?
And that's Le Poisson Steve by Vigs.
I want you to name a situation where you would open up your phone and play that.
I think in 2 days we're going to be saying Le Poisson Steve.
Yeah.
Le Poisson Steve.
I feel like I want to show that to Courtney's daughter, Lex. I think she would like it.
Tell you what, I hate it. Print the hats. I hate it, which means we're going to make money off the hats.
Well, that's French. We're never going to make money off of that. Jamie, I loved it. You sent it in. I went, what the fuck is Le Poison Steve? I had to listen to a Google Translate about 100 times to say the word poisson right.
I think you did a good job.
I still probably don't say it right. French is really hard. I feel like my mouth doesn't even move in the
Just
right
say
way.
croissant, but with a P.
Poisson.
Yeah. That's pretty close.
How would you know?
Off his vibes.
For sure.
I know how to speak French accently.
Yeah?
True.
I know how to
true.
speak. I lost it. I had so much confidence.
There's a song in French that I listen to a lot.
Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. That one?
Nope.
Fuck. It's about the only one I knew.
That would have been a great fucking Barry Bonds pointing in the stands, calling his fucking home run. What song is it?
Amour plastique.
Absolute banger song.
Plastic Armor? Is that, or is it
Plastic
Armoire?
Love, I think.
That makes more sense.
Oh,
And I just sing along with the vibes.
Yeah, that's a very
make up my own French words.
a very good song.
That's how most languages created.
I can't fucking. Oh,
This is so embarrassing, folks.
I can't spell. This is-
You're really good at it.
I've listened to it like 100,000 times. It's a good song.
It's a very good song. You're welcome from the recommendation, Josh.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm waiting.
What did you say right before she started singing?
Barry Bonds calling a home
That
run.
doesn't matter. After our listener submit,
He canonically hates baseball.
I do hate baseball. After listeners, we have a listener submitted story. This one coming to us from Kayla. Howdy, Judgies.
Howdy.
My name's Kayla, and you can say it.
From Paris.
And I've been listening to the pod for about 2 years now.
Texas.
It has been the highlight of my Mondays. Anyways, I've been wanting to send in a listener's story, and I finally remembered a good one. This happened about 3 years ago. There's a big country music festival that happens every year in my college's town. The tickets were pretty cheap, so I decided to go with some friends from class. Being freshmen at the time, we spent most of the day getting drunk, and eventually we met up with some guys that my classmate was friends with. I ended up hitting it off with one of them. Let's call him John.
No.
And he and I hung out together for the rest of the night. Being a dumb, drunk, and horny 19-year-old, I decided to go home with him. He was a friend of my friends and really sweet. So what's the worst that could happen? We get back to his house and I find out he has a puppy. It was a great big Pyrenees. It was a big Great Pyrenees. I forgot that's the name, the kind of the dog. I liked Great Big instead of Big Great. I just feel like it feels like saying big in front of great is like I did a small big thing. I wanted a big small thing.
Little big planet.
Yeah.
Little big town.
He had a big Great Pyrenees. We started getting it on, and I take off my crop top, my sticky bra, denim shorts, and underwear. For some reason, John didn't put his dog in the crate, and he was just kind of chilling on the bed while we had sex. I thought that was kind of weird for his dog to just watch us while we're doing all that.
Turns
But
out he
I'm
wasn't that
not-
great.
I'm not one to tell people what to do with their pets, so I just tried to ignore it. Eventually, we go to sleep, my clothes still on the floor, and in the morning, we decide to go for another round. And when we finish, I realize I started my period. I didn't have a tampon or a pad, so I figured I would just stuff some toilet paper in my underwear till I got back to my dorm.
Been there.
I put on my shirt and sticky bra, which were both stained with beer. Then I go to put on my bottoms. I pick up my shorts and found them with a giant hole ate out of the crotch. His dog had eaten the crotch out of my favorite pair of shorts while we were both sleeping. I was pissed, but it wasn't the end of the world. John offered me a pair of his shorts, and I planned to do the same plan as before, except with his shorts instead. The only problem was I couldn't find my underwear anywhere. John and I tore the room apart looking for my underwear, but they were nowhere to be found. This fucking dog ate my underwear too. Because I was still
Allegedly.
bleeding everywhere, I insist that he gives me a pair of his boxer briefs so I could stuff some toilet paper and not spread blood everywhere while I sat. I finally got dressed, rocking a backless beer-stained tank top with baseball shorts, and we left. Sorry, basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know why I read baseball. Fucking Barry Bonds got me.
Greats ball.
Beer stained tank top with basketball shorts, and we left to drop me off at my dorm. As an apology, he got me a honey butter chicken biscuit from Whataburger, and then he dropped me off on campus.
I fucking called that it was Texas.
Look at you go.
I mean, it might not be Texas, but that's kind of crazy.
Unfortunately for me, it wasn't. Unfortunately for me, it was about 11 a.m. at this point. So a bunch of other students were milling around as I did my walk of shame. I was so mortified by the whole situation that I never texted John back and never returned his clothes. But at least I got some Whataburger out of it. Anyways, sorry if this was super long, but I hope you enjoyed a tale of me being a dumb college freshman. Hopefully the dog ended up being okay, but I guess I'll never know. Hugs and pisses, Kayla.
Okay. Well,
And this would be a great spot to recreate our discharge conversation from earlier.
That's what sucks, because I was like, oh, it's coming full circle. The universe is...
okay.
Just general thoughts on discharge, pro or anti?
I am not a fan. I mean, it is what it is. Everyone has to go through with it.
Everybody
go through it, but-
discharges. I've read the book.
Everybody has one of those days.
Okay.
Christian, pro, anti?
How do you feel about it, babe?
How
I
do-
hate when it happens to my wife.
And I'm neutral to it, about it. That's what we were talking about with the discharge.
So you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless my wife's cool with it, then I'm cool when it happens to her.
Fuck, marry, kill, discharge, cum, and period blood.
You gotta fuck cum, you gotta marry period blood, and you gotta kill discharge.
I think that's the only answer.
Incorrect.
I think there's
I
other
think I'm
answers.
going to kill period blood so I don't have to bleed anymore because that's the worst.
You still get your
I
period.
think I would fuck discharge because then it's just one and done and I don't have to deal with that again. And then I would marry cum so I can come whenever I want.
Well, no, it's boy cum. Implied. Penis cum, specifically from numb nuts, though. So it's kind of... What if the official medical diagnosis for a man who's like sterile, has gotten an operation, is he medically on his sheet now says numb nuts? Would that change? That's kind of funny, right? Like
There's something
you walk
there,
in,
right?
oh, it says you're a numb nuts.
What brings you in today?
We got to get your A1C down, but numb nuts, congratulations.
I hate it.
You're gonna love this story from r/self. Is that a whoop?
SELF.
SELF. Self.
Whoop.
Hold on. A listener sent this to us, so let's read what they said. Hey, Judgies, you can say my name. It's Guadalupe. Been a long time listener. I used to just watch random TikToks that stole your audios, but then I decided to actually support you guys.
Let's go.
And I've been
Let's
a loyal
go.
listener since.
Shut the fuck up, Josh. Shut the fuck up, Josh. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know what button I thought that was.
Okay.
I decided to be a loyal listener since the mom only buying one wedding dress episode. I re-listened to every episode at least thrice.
That's our biggest. That's like our largest story ever.
Well, that's a good spot to start then.
I suppose, yeah.
And a review of mine was even read on Josh's other podcast. Here's a story I saw online and thought you guys would enjoy.
Really? I had another podcast.
La vida es para ganar dinero, dar besos y echar pedos.
You're really good at Spanish. Are you gonna
Then
be the
come
new
poop.
Pope?
Oh, it did hurt. I found. Were you insulting me or were you giving me compliments
When we spoke at the same time,
when I was speaking Spanish?
and I said you're really good at Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you any tone indicators.
Bird brain. I found my boyfriend's poop scale.
Oh, this is sent in a million times.
Yeah.
We got sent in this so many times that I just started like moving them into the like red because I assumed Christian was gonna read this one.
Thank you.
We got sent. I had to take a guess 25 times. Minimum.
I saw about 4 of them.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't even clear the emails out today. Sorry, bud.
Oh, that's all right. I checked yesterday anyways. It would have helped. All right. So I moved in with my boyfriend about 4 months ago. We've been together for almost 2 years. But existing in the same apartment has made me actually aware of his strange behaviors and habits. Since we began dating, I knew how much he cared about his health. He obsessively tracks his diet, works out every single day, and is constantly researching supplements and diet trends. It's all he wants to talk about.
What's that face, Eric?
That just sounds insufferable.
God forbid a man has a dangerous hobby.
That's
a self-harming
what I mean.
hobby.
I can't have an eating disorder.
He can have a silly, goofy boy eating
Like
disorder.
you can work out every day, you can track what you're eating, but like then also researching supplements and
Yeah.
I mean, he was also sunning his hole today. It comes up later in the story.
okay. Please don't sun your hole.
Unless you have sunscreen on.
I don't know that sunscreen's going to be good for your butthole.
Just soaks it right up. That is a mucus membrane.
Is your butthole a mucus membrane? I don't think it is.
That's how I slam my
Sometimes one has kind of snot coming out of it. Is that?
You don't digest oysters.
Yeah, I don't do very good with oysters. It's all he wants to talk about. It can get annoying, but it hasn't been a deal breaker for me. He's genuinely sweet, emotionally available, and my family loves him. However, living with him has been a different story. The degree of his obsession has become clear, and it seems to be getting exponentially worse. Here's an example just from the last month. We were watching TV after dinner, and I got up to go get a snack. He asked me if I could grab him some fruit leather. As I was walking back to the couch, I opened it up for him, took a small bite. I'm talking a tiny bite, half the size of a dime. And then he got unreasonably annoyed and explained that he needs to accurately record his caloric intake. And now that I've eaten some, he can't use the total listed on the wrapper. He asked me to go grab a new one, but it was the last one in the box. He stormed off and fucking got out the kitchen scale to measure the new weight of the leather compared to its weight listed on the wrapper. He barely spoke to me for the rest of the night. This guy's crazy because those do vary slightly.
That's the thing, is he's taking it to an unhealthy level here. Because, yeah, your individual... One, the nutrition labels on a box are already going to be estimates.
Yeah.
And then the weights on each individual thing is going to be an estimate. It's going to be all, There's a margin of acceptable error when it comes to things like that.
He's not even taking into account how many spiders are in that one. He barely spoke to me for the rest of the night. I was pretty shocked, but shrugged it off eventually and didn't really think about it again. That was a month ago. Yesterday, I discovered that something that honestly may lead to the end of our relationship. I got home early from work and rushed straight to the bathroom to go pee. On the counter next to the sink, there was a digital scale, kind of like a postage scale, with a large cereal bowl resting on the top. The
Wait.
bowl...
Like an actual bowl or like a bowl that goes on a scale?
A cereal bowl.
What is a cereal bowl?
A
Bowl.
So a bowl then.
Not a bowl that goes to the scale.
But
A
scales,
bowl.
some scales have bowls.
Yes, but this is...
This is one that they would eat out of. Cereal, one might say.
A postage scale isn't going to have a bowl on it, Josh.
Yeah.
Give some context clues, you fucking bird brain.
Well, if she doesn't know what a...
Big dumb idiot.
if
Do
she-
better.
I'm trying. If she doesn't know what a cereal bowl is, and how the fuck does she know what a postage scale is? For all she knows, the meat scale.
What are you even talking
Or
about?
a food scale.
She's describing it as a cereal bowl.
Yeah, and I'm just saying it's kind of ridiculous.
The bowl caught my eye first because I had a picture of Tommy's face on it from the Rugrats.
I'm the asshole for assuming that it was the movie 2002 Rugrats Go to Paris tie-in, where they sent everybody on a fucking meat scale with Tommy Pickle's face on it. I'm the asshole.
Stu was a scientist.
He makes pudding in the middle of the night.
I have never seen this bowl before and picked it up to check it out. That's when I get a whiff of something. It was faint, but a noticeable smell of poo-poo. Next to the skin.
Look at us trying to be adults and hear the word poo-poo and
That's ridiculous.
crack up. It's ridiculous.
Why would you call it poo-poo?
Come on.
Yeah, why would they type poo-poo? Next to the scale, there was a...
Shin.
What? I like to be silly, goofy when I read. I like to go off script a lot.
Okay.
Next to the scale, there was a spray bottle of avocado oil and a piece of paper with a bunch of numbers written on it. It was a daily calendar. Some days had nothing written, but then some days had nothing written by them. Others had numbers ranging from 0.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds.
Whoa.
At this point, I was super confused
could be multiple
and
poops.
curious. So I called out to my boyfriend. He works from home. When he got to the bathroom door, he looked super fucking pale. I asked him, what's up with the scale in the Rugrats bowl? And he fumbled over some words until he said that his chinchilla, he has a pet chinchilla, has been sick and he's been weighing him to make sure that he's not losing too much weight. This explained the poo smell, but didn't make any fucking sense in any other way.
It also didn't really explain the poo smell that great.
And chinchillas just smell like shit. I don't know.
I mean, famously,
Sorry, I've been putting my chinchillas completely covered in shit in that bowl.
you can't bathe him, so I just have to let him wallow in his shit. Kind of fucked up that chinchillas are opposite gremlin rules.
That is fucked
I was
up.
just vamping while you were yawning.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This explained the poo smell, but it didn't make any fucking sense in any other way. I told him that there's no fucking way his chinchilla weighs less than a pound and fluctuates that much over a few days.
Yeah.
This
He's really sick.
is when he broke down. He started tearing up and confessed that he's been weighing his poops for the last year. He went off on this explanation about how it's giving him valuable data about how efficient his metabolism is. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I was disturbed, but I was also curious to know how the process even worked. He said that he holds the bowl under his butt in the toilet while he poops. Then he dumps it back in after he takes the weight. He apparently uses the avocado oil to spray down the bowl first so that the poop doesn't stick.
Smart. I'll say it. That's smart.
Yeah.
Okay, there's cheaper oils than avocado oil, though.
It's half smart.
That's what he's already using at home.
If it was canola,
It's the most sprayable.
If it was canola, this would be very smart.
He's not using canola
I think
oil.
vegetable is cheaper than
He's
canola.
not using vegetable oil.
Is canola oil not vegetable oil?
I mean,
They're interchangeable.
They're interchangeable. I'm just saying
Okay.
that you typically vegetable is cheaper than
They-
canola.
I'm just saying Pam. I'm just saying if he was using regular ass Pam,
And I'm telling you, he's not using those fucked up oils.
he's not using an aerosolized.
He's
bad for
not
your health.
using an unhealthy vegetable oil.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
using something clean like avocado oil.
Grapeseed.
I think you really got to worry about the smoke point on
Yeah.
when you're shitting into a bowl.
Yeah. You got to worry about it for sure. But it's probably got a nice season to it now.
A good patina
I
on
don't
your Rugrats shit bowl.
Pete tuna. Pete tuna.
Yuna. He sprays in oil first so it doesn't stick to the bowl. I don't know. He's been hiding the scale in the bowl under the sink and just forgot to put it away this time, I guess. He keeps trying to convince me that it's not that unusual and that there's some people on the weightlifting forums that he's part of that have been doing this for years. I'm really fucking weirded out by it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I can get over it. I slept on the couch last night and told him I needed some space. I don't know what to do. Would you be able to get over something like this? I think this is the end of our relationship.
I think that's a little extreme. I think you should be more upset about how he was treating you earlier in the story
Yes.
I already forgot how
when
he
she
did.
took a bite of the fruit roll up. and he got super upset with you
Yeah.
and didn't talk to you for a day. I think that is a larger issue in terms of the prospects of your future relationship with him than him shitting in a Tommy Pickles bowl.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird.
There is a way to do it sanitarily, and he is not doing it that way. But if he was doing it sanitarily, I don't think I would have an issue with it. I think it'd be like, we need to have a talk, and we need to understand that talk about a slippery fucking slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I don't feel his goal of healthiness is not healthy.
yeah, I mean, this is just classic. So much conservative alt-right pipeline shit for men starts on bodybuilding forums.
Yep.
And starts in weight room forums, and then it makes its way to 4chan, and then it makes its way to Reddit, and then it makes its way to TikTok now. Like, it's just like an absolute fucking pipeline, and it's dangerous, and it's not good.
I mean, even if that's not the case for him, it's still not a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, you're over obsessing. It's eating disorders or just like obsessive health disorders in men get overlooked a lot because of stuff like this.
I think that very
gym
early in a
goers.
relationship, like if this was 2 years into our relationship, I'd be like, brother, what the fuck? And I'd probably dip. But like right now, 15 years in, if you're like, I'm gonna get this special scale and weigh my dookies, then I'm okay, bud. Just make sure our kid and our pets don't get anywhere near it.
Well, Christian's poops are so small because he poops so much. He probably would use like an egg cup.
Okay.
That hurts. That
You
hurts.
always talk about how small your
That
cute
hurts
your little
more
shits
than
are.
any of those words on that list.
So it's more about painting a picture than it is, yeah. So if you found a little Tommy Pickles egg cup underneath your bathroom sink,
I would be concerned. And I'd say, what the fuck is this?
you'd be like, that's worth $3,000,
Okay, can we have the money instead of the cup?
covered in shit. Cannot sell it on eBay.
Am I crazy? Would it be easier to shit on a plate?
No, because I
No?
think it's easier
Okay.
to grab onto a bowl.
Okay.
It's definitely
okay.
easier to hold a bowl.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Okay.
And you got to remember, this guy's eating well, so like his shits aren't, like they're solid.
They
you
aren't
know
like
what I
my
mean?
shit. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
they're not
okay.
dinky danky little shits like yours.
They're not always dinky danky. I just shit a lot.
Dinky danky. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I just, like I said, the bigger issue is, there's just a larger issue at hand here.
Yeah.
You if that's the excuse you need, sure, bud.
How
Go
banging
ahead.
does his body have to be where you're okay with him shitting into the bowl and weighing it?
That's not a factor for me.
Dean Winchester's doing this.
How long have we been together?
Doesn't matter. It's Dean Winchester.
No, I think it still matters.
Well, then it's the other Winchester.
2 years in.
Still matters to me.
It's still at 2 years is
If it's 2 years in, okay, but it's a Winchester. So like, have we been through a lot together?
oh yeah, you're trauma bonded.
This isn't
If we're
the,
trauma bonded, I think I'd be all right with it.
this isn't the only time you've smelled sulfur. We'll say that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'd probably be like, that's fucking weird, bud. But you do you.
Woman from the X-Files is doing this.
Gillian Anderson?
Yeah.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, okay. So we found the line.
Yeah.
And it's a hot woman for you.
She can do whatever she wants.
So a body can be banging enough for you to look past this.
I wouldn't even say body. Just,
Brain.
okay. All of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can do whatever she wants.
She is British, you're aware?
Yeah.
Ew. What?
Yeah,
That's
imagine
a
how
positive?
imagine how fucked up their shits are.
Ew. You're getting a full English every week. I assume she has GI issues. She's old.
I feel like British people's shit comes out looking like a Wheatie and not a mini Wheatie. I'm talking,
A maxi weedy?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care about her nationality. I just care for her.
Yeah, I just think British people are repulsive in every way. That's the difference for me.
yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
That's why I watch Love Island, to laugh at them.
I'm not laughing with them. That's for sure. Are you kidding me?
How's that for an insult? Well, I'm not laughing with you.
Fine. I think it's better when I said it.
Yeah, but I'm asking, like, would you be offended?
No. Because
What
I
if
know.
I said I'm judging you?
No.
You wouldn't be offended by that.
No. Because you're always judging me.
Yeah, but like think about it as strangers coming up to you and saying, I am judging you.
I think I just default assume that of everyone.
Right, but doesn't
So I don't think I
doesn't
would-
it hurt more to hear it out loud?
If I was perusing a store and someone approached me and said, I'm judging you, I would just be like, okay. And then I would leave the store and I would go home.
But because it hurt your feelings?
No, because I'd be embarrassed, I think, to have been
Right.
noticed. But I don't think I would be offended.
Okay.
Yeah.
So back to the poop scale. Aurora comes out and she's doing that. Thoughts?
Yeah, I would talk to her about it and be like, you got to stop. I would not break
And
up
what if
with
she's
her.
like, I'm not stopping. You can't make me stop. It's not going to happen. I'm going to keep doing it.
She's getting a trip to a specialist.
Special.
Yes. Because that's not a normal thing to do. Something's going on here.
Yeah.
What if I frame it as a science experiment, though? Like, what if I'm doing
You
a fun little...
You did frame it.
I did.
As a
I
science
did.
experiment in the docket.
I did in the docket.
That was a science experiment one.
He's getting data. He's getting valuable data.
Okay.
Yeah, but the issue is he's not doing it like in a true like double blind way and like
Well, not all experiments are double blind.
yeah.
She wouldn't shit into the bowl. How is
can
he supposed to do a double blind if she won't shit into the bowl?
You can still have scientific method without a double blind experiment.
I'm being attacked. I'm being absolutely attacked right now. He's very clearly not following like actual like lab data. He's not even fully fucking wiping out the bowl. You're not using like a true tear zero here. Like there's so many issues with it if you want to frame it as a science experiment. Frankenstein was a science experiment. He had a lot of issues with him too.
Frankenstein's the doctor.
Frankenstein's monster was a science experiment.
There you
And
go.
there's a lot of issues with that guy.
Yeah.
So not all science experiments are good.
I never said they were good.
It should be done, though.
They should?
Yeah, all science experiments should be done.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Oh, so
Oh.
you're glad with defunding everything that Trump's defunded in terms of science?
No.
Really? It sounded like you were a second ago.
For a second, it did sound like
Look
it.
down that barrel and say, I'm sorry. President Donald Trump. Really.
Absolutely
I
fucking
really
not.
was banking you were going to start saying that.
No.
We really need that in case they really started arresting people for having thoughts.
Would it be funny if we started putting our faces saying I did that and started putting it on stuff and people were just like, who the fuck are these idiots? Instead of the Biden stickers and the Trump stickers, it's just our asshole faces. being
We
like,
did
we
this."
did this. And it's like, what do these assholes have to do with the gas prices?
The gas prices stayed the same. What are they doing? We're equalizing the market, baby.
Hey, that's it for the main feed episode.
If you would like to hear me talk, you can do that on our bonus episode. Our weekly bonus episode.
Shut the fuck up, Josh. Shut the fuck up, Josh. Shut the fuck up. No!
I meant to hit that one.
Okay. You can do that at patreon.com/judgies
Pod.
pod. Yeah?
Yep.
Anywhere you're on the internet that you would like to follow us, you can do that at Judgies pod also.
Please follow us. Please like our shit. Please subscribe to our shit. Please leave a comment on this. Please leave a like on this. Please leave a 5 stars review on Spotify. Please leave.
Hey, Josh, what do you call a werewolf YouTuber?
I don't know what.
Like and subscribe.
That's a real cerebral one.
Saw it on TikTok.
Huh. Isn't lichen also a like a
Moss?
fungus thing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to work there.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Judgies.